Welcome to the St. Thomas Project, Devotions for Doubters, brought to you by the Alyosha Society, where we're pursuing truth and beauty and goodness through great literature. Indeed, most of what we do here at the Alyosha Society is focused on works of literature. This being quite different. For a detailed explanation of the focus of this series, check out the video. The first video from the St. Thomas Project, it's just called Preface. Now, I explained it all there. But in a nutshell, what I'm doing here with the St. Thomas Project is I'm addressing folks who wrestle with doubting their faith. You will see also that I'll be wearing green in all of the videos in this series. Common time. It's the liturgical color for hope, points to growth. May God give you hope and grow your faith, no matter where you are in your journey at this point. Okay, you know the drill. Let's go over to slide land. If you've been watching these videos, you know the drill. This is where we go over to slide land, and I am going to show you a passage of scripture. You pause me and then read that passage of scripture, then unpause me, and we talk about it. So just to review, this is St. Thomas Project number 5, A Lady of Little Faith. Your scripture passages, 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. I bet some of you know what that one is. 1 John chapter 2, verse 11, and then skip over to chapter 3 and read verses 14 to 24. And then you've got the first 5 verses of the book of James. So go ahead and pause me while you read your script. Is that a good pause? Is that a good fake pause? Yeah, I'm working on it. Okay, let's go ahead then and leave slide land. And we're going to come back over to talk land. All right, let's see what we got here. A Lady of Little Faith. Just before he died in 1881, the Russian writer and thinker Fyodor Dostoevsky published what is widely regarded as his greatest novel. Maybe you've read it, The Brothers Karamazov. Readers from all faith backgrounds continue to be enthralled by this story, and one of the big reasons is due to the deeply engaging worldview discussions that take place between different individuals, but especially between the two brothers, Ivan and Alyosha. Ivan is arguing quite convincingly, really, in favor of the atheist position, and Alyosha is articulating and living out the Christian perspective. Now, in the beginning of the novel, Alyosha's mentor, the elder Zosima, encounters a lady who is distraught over the fact that her faith is weak. Zosima has compassion on her, and he hears her out. I am suffering. Forgive me, I am suffering, she says. From what precisely? Asks Zosima. She responds, I suffer from lack of faith. Now, as the conversation continues, Zosima makes an extraordinary claim to the lady. He tells her that there's a way to guarantee, did you catch that? Guarantee that her unbelief will be eradicated, gone. Now, at this point, of course, the lady is all ears. How? By what? She begs to know. And here is Zosima's full response. I'm going to read it word for word. He says, by the experience of active love, try to love your neighbors actively and tirelessly. The more you succeed in loving, the more you'll be convinced of the existence of God and the immortality of your soul. And if you reach complete selflessness in the love of your neighbor, then undoubtedly you will believe, and no doubt will even be able to enter your soul. This has been tested. It is certain. That's what Zosima says to the Lady of Little Faith. Wait, so The way to guarantee that my unbelief will go away is not by reading more and more books on apologetics, defending the faith, not according to Zosima. The solution isn't to learn better logical arguments for the existence of God, not according to Zosima. So what's the deal here? How does this work? Well, first off, Zosima is trying to make a point. He's not saying that all these other things that we do to build up our faith are bad or ineffective. So what exactly is he saying? I want to examine it very briefly here on two levels, the practical and the philosophical. On the practical level, when we love, we're doing something that only God can do perfectly. And we're participating in something that is at the very heart of who he is. Without God, there's really no such thing as love. Therefore, when we practice love, we're behaving like God. When we love, we cannot avoid knowing the very one who is love. How can I behave like God and not know the one I'm imitating? Okay, that's on a practical level. On a philosophical level, the very reality of love is not consistent with the atheistic worldview. See, if there's no God, then we are nothing more than an extremely complex collection of chemicals. I have a hard time figuring out how even the most complex assemblage of purely material substances could express what we call love. Love, therefore, points to the God who is love. All right, takeaways. At the end of each of our devotions, we do just some brief takeaways, some applications here. Here's my takeaway for this one. I've read and reread that chapter many times. The chapter is actually called A Lady of Little Faith. I stole the name from the title of the chapter. Here's my takeaway. Why not test it? If you're listening to this video and you're going through these devotionals for doubters, I assume that you just might be fighting that old demon of unbelief. Try to love your neighbors actively and tirelessly. Forgive those who have harmed you. Honestly, friends, what have you got to lose?